All right, we're going to begin the news. A lot of news this morning. And we're going to begin this hour with something that we showed you last hour. How divided people say this country is right now. A split screen over the weekend. Millions of people turned out at so-called No Kings rallies around the country. On Saturday, they were protesting against Donald Trump. Meanwhile, in Washington, there was a celebration of the Army's 250th anniversary, a parade, and a show of U.S. military might. Meanwhile, overseas in the Middle East, Iran and Israel have launched new strikes against each other, killing dozens of people as of this hour and raising fears of a still wider conflict in that region. Here to talk about these rising tensions at home and abroad is Ian Bremmer. He's the president of Eurasia Group. Ian, so good to have you here.
Okay.
You know, the world has been worried about a nuclear Iran for decades, and they've also been worried about Israel preemptively striking Iran, and now it happens at this particular moment. Why do you think that is?
Well, it happened at this moment because the Israeli prime minister was facing a no-confidence vote, and his government was about to fall apart. He was going to lose his far right-wing parties. This preempts that. The Israeli people, who are very divided on Gaza, are very aligned on trying to take down the Islamic Republic and their nuclear capabilities in particular. So that's what drove it. The fact that Trump had been trying to bring peace, to bridge a deal between the United States and Iran, as much as he has between Russia and Ukraine over the past few months, he was getting frustrated. It wasn't working out. He gave the Israelis at least a flashing yellow light over the last week, if not a green, to go ahead.
Because U.S. officials say we knew nothing about it, we didn't know that was coming. You don't believe that?
Well, when the American government actually evacuates all non-essential personnel from all of the bases that are within ballistic missile striking range of Iran days before, and gives a heads up to the Gulf allies and the European allies, and then there are briefings in the intelligence committees to the House and Senate members telling them what's happening, you can't really say you don't know, right? I think that's pretty clear.
So there's a difference between giving that flashing yellow light and being directly involved. Do you see that being the case for the U.S.?
You know, the Russians have been saying, of course, that NATO is involved in a proxy war supporting Ukraine because they're providing military support, they're providing intelligence. Certainly, if you're a member of the Iranian government today, you see the United States is providing intelligence, is providing massive amounts of military aid to Israel, is doing nothing to cut that off. And indeed, we've sent a couple destroyers to the Eastern Med to help the Israelis defend themselves. Now, it is true that as of this moment, there are no direct American strikes against Iran, and that includes critically the deep underground nuclear facilities they have under a mountain at Fordo. Yeah. And you can't stop Iran from going nuclear, which they could do within a few months, unless you hit those sites. Yeah. That's why Israel is so set upon getting the Americans directly involved. As of right now, President Trump has said, I want no part of that.
What do you make of what's happening in this country, though? The divided America. On one hand, we had the No Kings protest. On the other hand, we had the military parade. What message is this sending? And the No Kings protest, rather, seemed to have a bigger turnout than what happened at the parade.
Immigration is the big issue that is both driving civil discord and violence right now in the United States, and also has been Trump's most popular issue and helped get him elected back last November. The country is enormously divided on just how one goes about affecting that policy. And what we continue to see in the United States is a two-tier system. If you have the money and you can lobby, you can make sure that you can have illegal immigrants working in your, sort of site. But God forbid, you're one of the people that's, working like crazy just to make ends meet.
Are you referring to Donald Trump saying, I think last week he said...
Farmers and hotel workers.
Farmers and hotel workers will probably...
Making a change.
Yeah, I think to cast yourself as the law and order president and then to say, well, but, these people really need to be able to continue to have illegal immigration is appalling to me. It's outrageous. And I think American voters shouldn't tolerate it. For too long, this system has run by money. It's coin-operated in ways that other advanced industrial democracies meeting with Trump around a table like this up in Canada starting today doesn't happen there. Right. And we need to do something about it.
A coin-operated America. That's an image for us, Ian. Thank you.
Yeah. And can I say, Nate, in addition to being a very intelligent person, he's also a fashionista that green.
I love the touch of
That
green.
pop of color.
That green. he-
I'm a big fan.
That's his eyeglass
Actually,
cleaner.
my eyeglass.
Oh, but it worked. It worked.
Way to
works
utilize
really
the
well.
accessory.
There you go.
Well done.
Fashionista on the fly. Thank you, Ian Bremmer. Thank you.